I'm going to say this a couple of times before you answer. Do you want to heal or do you want to live?
To maintain the client's privacy, I'll be answering his words in this section. We'll continue.
Yeah. Do you want to heal or do you want to live? I can expand on that if you like.
His reply is, yes, ma'am. I want to hear that again.
Do you want to heal or do you want to live? The reason I ask it this way, if you're healing, you can be healing for the next 20 or 30 years and not even know that you healed 20 years ago when you get there.
He replies, in that case, I want to live.
Exactly. But when you're living, your healing begins to come to the platform you're living for and expressing. So instead of just learning to heal or learning a new way of doing things and then put it into action, that's double, triple handling. We go directly into the experience and into the action itself and into the interaction of what we're talking about.
Yes, I get it.
Okay, that's how we make significant progress.
Easy.
We're actually writing a script for a new movie for you.
Okay.
And I want to also say one more thing. If we look at what's happened to you as a gift and not something to reclaim, that means we're going back and exploring why, etc. But expanding into other territories in your mind and your body and your life that you haven't touched yet.
Yeah.
You following that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So therefore, as you expand, then it'll start linking and healing that other bit without isolating that part.
Awesome.
And giving that the significance instead of the new life that we're going for as a significance.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Beautiful. You can say it out loud if you like, because when you hear it, you've got another vibration. There is a resonance going on between your brain and your hand at the moment, but you're not actually physically aware of that until you actually say it.
Okay. Let's do it.
Great.
I've been betrayed.
I've been betrayed. And I have betrayed.
And take a deep breath into your body when you say that. Do you feel a difference as you say it and write it instead of just writing?
I'm just compartmentalizing at the moment.
Okay, good. So pay attention to that now.
Okay.
As you breathe into it and feel the difference that the pen feels like it has its connecting to the paper as you actually say, I've been betrayed.
Okay.
I have betrayed. And notice the different resonance in my body as I say that compared to what I said before.
I've been numb to connection of life. I have been numb.
Take a breath.
I have been lost in life. I've given my sexual sacredness away.
Now go one step deeper with that. What does depression feel like? Instead of just a label, what is the actual feeling that gives, if there's a place in your body that you can feel that darkness, where is it? Or is it outside the body, or is it beside you, or above you, or beneath you?
Around, in, and all-encompassing.
Is there a part in your body that's not dark? Good question.
That's a really good question.
Find that little crack of light somewhere.
That might be my heart.
Have you found a place to love?
Absolutely. I can say that with absolute certainty.
Wonderful. So you've got a huge darkness with that sliver of light. that you want to expand into the rest of it so you can shine a light on everything else. Would that be
That is
about?
correct. Yeah.
Do you want to say it in your words?
I think the darkness and the depression and the absolute sadness and the feeling of hopelessness, that I have absolutely no control over my life. Now that I have the love and the tenderness of my current loving relationship, it provides the tenderness that brings the absolute joy, and it does affect how I view life.
That light now into that.
Yep.
And of course, we already covered that there's darkness everywhere else, but that sliver of light in your heart is what we're focusing on right now. Are you understanding the distinction between where you were going to go and where I brought you back now?
Yes.
Okay. Now you can see why we're videoing and recording.
Yeah.
Because we can easily forget that.
His reply is, if I can just bring that light in and let that permeate and be positive.
Forget the positive. No, we're not going to expand on that. We're just following that light.
Okay.
Okay? Getting very clear. Because positive doesn't do anything. Positive thinking, all of that is nice stuff.
Mm.
But I'm going to take you as actual expression of it. It is what it is, what it is. Yeah, and don't make it worse than it is, don't make it better than it is. Make it is what it is. And then when we've got the clarity of what it is, then from there we can see far better, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not going to try and heal the distortion at the moment. We're just getting very, very clear.
Yeah.
Happy there?
Yes.
Great.
Absolutely.
Good. Moving on. So you said PTSD. What does that feel like? Is that... I'm trying to help you to identify that rather than the word. I want to help you out with this. Just bear with me for a moment. Is that the mind going back to the old stuff, and is that regret, or is it, or you're digging through it, or is it like entrapment, or is it, what is it?
That's a diagnosis that I've had.
I understand, and now we're getting really clear with where that diagnosis sits in you, and whether it's real or whether it actually is a word for something else that actually has a real feeling.
Well,
that's a really, really good question. I hear other people with PTSD, and I don't liken myself to what they're going through.
For you, yeah.
What is it that I'm going through? It's the reliving of the trauma.
So therefore you're going back to that dark place. When you say reliving trauma, you're going back to the dark place.
It is not only the one incident, although predominantly it is that one incident. Other incidents that slip in, and then it's anxiety, and it's happening again and again.
Let's go back to anxiety and fear. What that usually brings up is you cannot have anxiety and fear if you know the next step that you feel safe to take.
Mm.
Would that be correct or not?
Yeah.
You tell me, yeah? Okay. So therefore, let's re-identify the words anxiety and fear, because what that really means, I'm stuck where I am, and I don't know where my safety place is.
Mm.
So I'm stuck, I can't move out of it. The reality is I want to step out into a place that feels sure and secure and steady, but new. So therefore, because it's new, it's not going to feel totally sure and secure, is it?
Ah, that's right.
So we're going to get you comfortable with being in a new place that's not secure as the security we know back there, because the anxiety and the fear is the old security spot too.
Yeah.
Would you say that's correct? Expand on that a bit? Because I don't want to be putting words into your mouth, but I'm helping your brain start to connect with where you're at instead of just having a diagnosis. Someone's telling you that you belong in this slot and that slot, and you go, I don't belong in any of them. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Just repeat what you just said. Okay.
So what does that anxiety and fear feel like for you? Because that's actually a comfort zone. It's a place you know.
Mm.
But it's also a place that traps you. Okay, great. So back in that spot, you're not stepping out of that circle.
That's correct.
Of the old way.
Yeah.
And that perpetuates anxiety because it doesn't bring anything new in. Yeah. As you said, you limit your behaviour and limit your expression.
Yeah.
Okay. How are we going so far?
Good.
Okay, what are you feeling in your body as I speak to you in this manner?
Um.
Do you feel you're being heard?
Yes. Yeah.
It's just that it's a new process for me.
Of course it is, because that's not where any therapist would take you,
Mm.
right? Because they want to explore the old thing. Let's go and see what gives you anxiety. Let's look at that.
Yeah.
Why? You're stuck there. Why the hell would you want to look at that instead of looking, this is where I want to be. What's it going to take for me to have the courage to step into that?
Mm.
So first of all, when I want to identify how important that step is before you actually step into it, because I wouldn't step there either if it wasn't important to me, if it was someone else's instruction
Yeah.
for their benefit or their perception.
Yeah.
So what we do is identify where you want to be at the moment. There are limitations. Like you say, you're even more likely during the session to step back into anxiety and fear to that safe place. That's possible, and I want you to really feel that during this physical session and the other interactions we're going to be doing. You'll actually go through that to truly feel the depth of it until you go, shit, that's enough. I don't like this at all. I don't care what the next step is. I mean, I know it. I'm going how fearful the next step is. If I'm going to feel that fear there, I may as well feel fear in a new place that has more opportunities for me.
Yeah.
Making sense?
Yeah.
Good. So we don't have to now. Because you will still go through a form of anxiety in a new place, but it'll be different.
Oh, okay.
So what I mean about anxiety is going to be different, because any new spot goes, where am I, what's going on? It's still a level, but we give it a different words, because it's actually, in a sense, almost a similar feeling, but with progress.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Because you don't know where you are here. It's not safe, you don't know where you are. Here in the new spot that you've defined you want to be, you still don't know where you are, what you really need to achieve that, because you need to explore that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But you can explore it with enjoyment because you've decided to be there.
Yeah.
Whereas back here,
choice.
that decision was made for you.
Yeah.
What was the next thing? We've done anxiety, we've done PTSD, we've done depression.
I lost connection with my son.
There's one where that is really a devastating place to be, right, for you.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. To reconnect with him from where you are is not going to work.
Mm.
But to reconnect with him through the progress you make, as an example of who he can grow into, because you're growing into that, can provide a connection. Do you want me to repeat that, help you out with that? That's a big thing for you.
Yeah.
So, first thing, you've got a loss of your son. That's part of your heart too. It's a very deep part of your heart. Look at me, look at me. When we make steps forward, when you progress and see bigger opportunities, you'll have an opportunity to present yourself differently to him one way or another. So we're stepping into that, not the old place of the loss. We have to acknowledge the loss. Look at me, stay with me. Okay, because this is a happy place we're stepping into. As you step into that new place, because you don't know what is being said to him, well, you do to some degree. But when you are becoming who you are becoming, and that can be clearly observed by him, because at 11 he's not stupid. Children see things that adults don't think they can see. The connection with you is going to be very different. When we're working on the person you're living into, because that's where we're heading, right? First we need to identify where we are, right? To appreciate where we're heading, because unless we cover that, that step's not going to make any sense, and not even going to want to be there. Stepping into that into life, because you also said to me about Bob Proctor and Wells, where I'm going to be helping you, getting into that life. So your focus is there. So you're going to be representing yourself to him, not in the videos you want to share to him from the place you were, but from the place you're growing into, where he'll want to reach out, or at least be very proud and go, hey, that's my dad, look at YouTube, look at his this and this, look at that. Okay? And you can actually, because there's a lot of people in your situation. particular.
Mm.
They've forgotten.